All right. So today we are talking about Hyatt rolling out ChatGPT across the company, which is a pretty big move. So the question is, are hotels finally ready for operationalize AI? That's a big word. Or are we still in the experiment phase? We'll also get into hotels trying to go fossil fuel free. JetBlue is pushing back on bankruptcy rumors, and a new outdoor brand tapping into the glamping trend. And of course, we're bringing back our game just to see how confusing hotel brands really are. Let's dive in. Well, that was a mouthful. Blah, 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 blah.
That was a good opening read, Sarah.
Oh,
Professional. Good
not all of us can be perfect.
What? It's hard, but you do a good job, Sarah. You do a good job.
I kid. Well, good morning. It's
Good
nice
morning.
to see you.
I know. I'm bummed out we don't get to do it live again in person. That was so much fun to do it live. I think it's just more fun that way. But I will take this since we're on two different coasts.
Totally.
Two different time zones, but always fun here.
Yeah.
I have a random question for you.
Oh,
We're gonna over the show here. Have you been to Bali before?
I have not been to Bali specifically, but I have been to Indonesia.
I need to go.
I have a crazy story about Indonesia.
Offline.
No, not bad. It was my tour guide ended up dying in my arms, and it was this whole interesting thing. And we went to all these temples, but I love it, and I can't wait to go back. So, you didn't think that was going to be happening?
No, I didn't think that would be happening there. But I just got into a black hole of watching videos of all the different resorts and all. I just want to give a shout out to the creators that are creating like these in-depth, videos of all the things going on in those hotels, because I just got into a black hole of like all the different amenities and mini bars and all those kind of things. So
are you watching everything on YouTube?
On YouTube, yep.
Yeah, that's a dude thing, I think. Somebody correct me if I'm incorrect. I feel like that's a dude. I can't get into watching stuff on YouTube. But wait, before we dive into all of this, we have a sponsor. Do you want to go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor?
We do the sponsor for sure. And one, I saw Lou said my internet's fuzzy. We can't figure it out. We have fast internet here, Lou. We're trying to figure out why my video is fuzzy, but we can't figure it out today. But anyhow, before we get into our show, we need to make sure we give a shout out to the sponsor that makes this happen for us. We're giving a shout out to Vrbo. Vrbo is a sponsor this month for our show. And if you are listening and you have an eligible property with Vrbo, using the link in the show notes, so make sure to check out the link on the screen at vrbo.com/good morning, you can earn 1 key cash for your next trip. So make sure to check out Vrbo. They got a lot of great properties on there. I'm booking places on there. You guys should be booking places on it too. And we love having them as our sponsor for our show. So shout out to Vrbo.
Shout out to Vrbo. I've definitely had my clients book them before. So yeah, definitely. Well, that's cool. Okay, wait. So
I'm just looking because I was doing some research. So anyhow, we got into a black hole about Bali and looking, I was like, man, they got some beautiful places. And I just wanted to see if they're as good as these creators are making it look. But anyhow, I've got a trip coming up. I started doing the same thing for Moab. I'm going to Moab this weekend. Excited to go check that out. Haven't been before. Cool. So if anyone has any recommendations, let me know. My dad and I are going for some adventure out there.
You're going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm going on a last minute adventure with my mom.
No way.
Literally, it just came together yesterday. I'm laughing because I was very much looking forward to being home. And I'm working on some things, my book and all of that stuff. And I get an ask, not yesterday, but the day before, hey, do you want to go to Mexico this weekend? Just outside of Cancun. And I was like, oh man, I wish it would be even like 2 weeks from now. And then I was like talking about it and looking at it. And then I could bring a +1. And I'm like, Mom, you got to come with, because she hasn't been to Mexico since like we went in, I don't know, 1998 or something.
Wow.
She hasn't been in a long time. And so coming together, we leave Friday for Mexico.
All right. Very nice. I know you're friends with a lot of the cartel leaders there. So that should be really cool.
Yeah, we go way back. Oh my gosh. That's what happens when you grow up on the streets of Atlanta. You're good like with everybody everywhere. So Why don't we go ahead and should we talk about some hospitality and hotels
I
and
think that's what people tune in for. So, I
yeah,
think we should do it.
you want to hear about my cartel um, relationships. Okay, so our first topic here, this is pretty interesting. I know that you're going to have a lot to say about this. Hyatt is rolling out ChatGPT Enterprise across the business. They're rolling it out across multiple departments, including marketing, finance, customer experience. And it's one of the first large-scale AI deployments in hospitality, which is why this is so notable. Did you take a look
I
at this?
did. I read this very in depth. I wanted to make sure we were going and finding all the details, and I could not figure out how they're going to be truly using it. Right. That's the one thing I've been seeing is like everyone's deploying it. We talked about Minor Hotels last week, and thanks for Minor for reposting our show. I saw them do that as a brand.
Hey
so thank you for doing that, Minor. But for Hyatt, I'm reading. Sorry, they're going to be doing it across the board. They're not building something from scratch. They'd rather use ChatGPT to go across all of their different products. I'm just trying to figure out as a user, as an operator, I'm on site, I'm a GM, I'm a F&B director, I'm a pool manager. Like, how am I using tools? And I don't see that listed anywhere yet. So if you're working at Hyatt right now and you can give us some ground floor journalism, please let us know. I would love to see how you're using it, how it's different than just using ChatGPT by itself. Are you really getting all of the information? Like if Sarah and I were staying there, would you be able to see our info and like our past stays and our likes?
Mm-hmm.
What are you actually seeing? So that's what I'm curious to see. But I love that they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
They're 3 years of experimenting, making sure that they can use it. But if you're not going to start using it, you're falling behind. So that's what I think these hotel companies are really starting to see is it makes people way more efficient. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want people to be efficient, get back out and help guests make a great stay. But what are you thinking when you're reading this article?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're kind of starting to get into the early phases of more than theoretical, more than just trying and implementation, but we're actually seeing results. We're seeing how it's being used in the day to day, and then ultimately like the improved efficiency. I mean, there's numbers and real data behind that. This actually quickly just reminded me of last week. So actually after our show last week, I was on a panel at C-Trade. I want to do a quick shout out to them talking about AI. So we had the CTO from Norwegian Cruise Lines, as well as the CIO of MSC Cruises, and we were talking about AI and how it's being implemented in the cruise industry. And so very similarly, the big conversation, and we even touched on this last week, is AI is great, but it's like, is the data centralized so that you're able to kind of more efficiently use AI to, whether it's aggregate all that information, but then end up acting on it and having the correct data. So I think it's great that we're seeing that Hyatt is doing that. And again, we're just going to continue to see more and more big brands, be it hotels, be it cruises, obviously airlines as well. I mean, we're all sitting on a gold mine of data, and it's just how do we act on it in a way that actually ends up helping the guests and streamlining the experience in the back end.
You did a great job on that panel. I was very impressed. Sarah did a great job. I hope they show that recording somewhere. But I liked one thing that I think it was the CTO of Norwegian said, we want to meet guests where they are. If they land on our website, just want to talk to the chat bot and get a question answered, great. If it's that they want to plan a whole vacation with us, we want to be able to do that for them. If it's something even bigger, they want to be able to do that for them. But what they don't want is you having to be on your phone when you're sitting in the hot tub with people from around the world. They want your phones away. It should be easier. It should be easier for the guests to use. So I like that. It really stuck with me on that part. The other part that I really think about is like when I saw this was like, all right, I'm going back to my days running. I always go back to the pool deck. That's where I got trained, in my young teens and 20s is could I use AI to say, all right, here are my cabanas for the day. I have Sarah coming. I do a quick search. This is what she ordered. Here's what you should suggest to her based off of her order preference. So I can do some smart upselling and make it feel personalized to Sarah. Say, hey, Sarah, I know that you really enjoyed the pina coladas last time. Do you want me to start that order for you right now with your favorite burger and the avocado on the side like you had? Those are the kind of things that I would love to see it start to be able to do. So when I do a pre-shift during the day, I have everyone's information that we can then start to personalize things very easily for guests. That's what I'm hoping we see more and more of for teams.
Well, and I think we will, and I think the big conversation part from last week in regards to AI, and I think everybody can agree with that. It's not supposed to be seen; it's supposed to be felt. And so that's the whole thing with any sort of technology, but absolutely AI. And so kind of having it, working in the background. And I mean, Hyatt's done a great job as far as implementing it, and obviously very much focus on how it's improving, efficiency for the employees and the staff. But then, as also what Steve was just saying, meeting guests where they're comfortable. So they're not necessarily coming back from a Hyatt stay being like, man, that AI was amazing. That's
That was the best day I ever.
Whoa, man, that was a great AI stay. Hopefully they're thinking about other things or how they had a great time and that just things were seamless and they got to have, wonderful time connecting with loved ones or doing whatever they were doing there. So at the end of the day, it's a tricky space because it's got to be one of those things that's almost thankless. It's just happening in the background and people don't know why things are easier, but they just are.
I like that.
Yeah. So there you go. That's our lovely AI moment here. Well, why don't we go ahead and move on to this next topic? Because I saw this. I actually, it's coming out today on the Skift Daily Briefing. Did a deep dive into this, but I was blown away. I mean, I'm also not a big sports fan. And so, there's some numbers that I don't always know, but World Cup travel costs are rising fast. And by the way, it's not just the cost of the tickets. This part is crazy. So I didn't even realize. I mean, I don't know. I figure obviously prices of tickets go high, but they've got World Cup tickets that are what are $11,000?
More.
Well, no. But I think the face value.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is wild to see, and I think as we're talking about this, is the price of World Cup here in the United States. It's coming. I know we got games here in Miami. We got games where you are over in LA. Yeah. There's in New York. I forget the other markets where they're at, but just in the US, I mean,
Kansas City, New Jersey.
Prices, everyone is banking on it. Everyone wants to see that this comes through at a really high rate. I have even Vacation Rental World and our boutique hotels. The owners of those properties are like, why are the prices so low? I was like, because look, we need to get people in these rooms. They're not being booked and prices are going to be very high. We've seen people book them at very high rates. So people are booking them, but you also have the flights and the cars and restaurants are making certain kind of reservations you have to have. It's getting pretty nuts. And then I did a quick search on tickets, right? I wanted to go see Colombia, Portugal. Okay. Two major teams. They're playing here in Miami, which is a big draw. The nosebleed seats all the way at the top, last row is $4,500 per ticket. So it'd be a nosebleeds. The ticket, for two with all the charges on there from Ticketmaster was almost $11,000 for the worst seats in the stadium for that game. Now we could go, you and I, to go see Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, and that's only $800 per ticket on the same row at the nosebleed. So
I will keep my comments to myself on that.
That's what's pretty crazy to see. How expensive these tickets are, and a lot of fans just can't afford it. So it's a lot of corporate companies, a lot of people flipping tickets. So I'm curious to see once we get closer how the tickets start to fall a little bit.
Yeah, the ticket prices are definitely going to fall. Obviously, you'll have people that will be spending some big ones. In fact, I'm actually looking at tickets for my client. Thanks for the reminder. But tickets for the final, for example. Okay, so this is what was crazy. So we're not talking about necessarily even what's being sold on StubHub. $11,000 compared to 2022, where the highest for the finals were $1,600. What are we doing here? By the way, not only that, but just different things like how to get there, transportation. In New Jersey, with the MTA, normally from New York to MetLife Stadium in New Jersey would normally be $13 round trip, and now it's what, $150? I mean, look, I understand some things are going to be jacked up, but it's a lot. And what if a family wants to go? And then, I mean, oh my gosh, it's everybody, it just feels like late stage capitalism, guys. That's just where we are.
Listen, people are paying it. You have a lot of big companies buying the tickets. You have a lot of big sponsors paying for these things. I think you'll see a lot of the influencers and people showing up. It reminds me of when F1 first came to Miami. Everything was sky high. And then a lot of people ended up going. They didn't have to pay. They were invited because there was in boxes and different seats. And they were getting people there. But
Hmm.
70 members of Congress, they wrote to FIFA president and see if we can get these things down with great concern. But I don't think that's going to do anything at this point. People are paying, and I'm curious to see what happens as we get closer and closer to June. We'll see.
Oh yeah,
June, July.
now they decide to work. That's great. Like this is the pressing issue. Anyway, I mean, I don't know, it just drives me insane. And obviously, like the free sort of the fan festivals that they used to have that would be free, those are obviously pay to play. So I can potentially understand that depending on, how much it is, but it's just like, I don't.
But everything.
No.
You got watch parties at restaurants. You got so many things that come off of these big events that come to the city. So I understand it's good for the city if we can really dial in, something to learn from. I think the last time we had the World Cup, it was like 1994, if I remember correctly, because I remember my cousins are from Venezuela. They were traveling, chasing Brazil around the U.S.
Sure.
And you were able to do it because it was affordable at that time to buy tickets and go do those things. So interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, real interesting. It all comes down to dollars. It's such a weird time because it's like you've got so many people that are like, they're really having a tough time, and businesses as well, trying to stay afloat. And then you've got this that's going on. At what point is it just like, okay, can we just? I don't know. Like
more expensive, yeah. Things are more expensive. That's a bigger show to talk about. Like I went out to a little local cafe, a little Italian cafe that I want to support more. But I ordered a plate of pasta, a plate of pizza, and a salad shared for me and my two kids. And it was $75, right? Just for those three things. No wine, no drinks, just those three things. So it's really hard. And I'm sure for the business owners, even harder when fuel gets more. So that gets more on the delivery charges. Price of food goes up. Price of all your supplies goes up. Electricity is more expensive. Everything gets more expensive. So you got to cover those costs. Let's see what happens. So I'll see you at who's going to invite me to the Colombia, Portugal game. I've got $100 for you. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Instead of inviting me to a game, we could just go like, I don't know, go on a trip somewhere. How about that?
That's a lot. That's cheaper. With that $8,000, you can travel around the world.
Totally. We don't even have to fly business class. Anyway, let's go ahead and go on to our next topic here. Whew. All right. The Net Zero Club. Hotels are rejecting fossil fuels. This was interesting. And there's also an interesting article about like just even like SAF fuel with airlines. But I mean, hotels are moving towards fully electric and renewable energy operations. Obviously, the whole thing with it is like sustainability is real, but it's not quite widespread. I know this is a big deal for you, so please chime in.
Yeah, this is a great article by Darren Graham over here at Skift, really in depth. It helped me understand it a little bit more because I know we've talked a lot about going green and, having no fossil fuels on the cruise ships. And we talked about certain hotels that are now net zero. We talked about one in the past that's actually mentioned this article. I think called the Marcel. And it was just interesting to me, like this article. So Darren, good job, made me text my team saying, hey, what more can we do to get to net zero, right? Because we were still looking at using electricity. Can we go into more solar? Is there something more creative that we can do that we can get some tax relief from somehow to pay for? It really is out there. How do you do it? And another article not related to this, I was just kind of reading an article this morning with my coffee, is Disney is now able to go fully solar if it wanted to, but hasn't pulled that trigger yet, right? So it's those kind of things you start seeing. We talked about the MGM Hotel in Las Vegas doing it. So there's a lot out there to be able to do it. But this article really breaks it down. So if you have the chance to read this article, it goes in depth, really shows you what you need in your buildings, creative ideas, who's doing it, really cool menus that are showing like, hey, which things on the menu have the greatest impact on the environment with carbon labels. So if you get a salad, it's very low, but if you're getting that filet mignon, it's at the very high level. So it shows you what you're consuming. It's really interesting to me, this article, to see. But I'm curious for viewers and listeners, do you care when you're traveling? Is this something you care about? Are you still looking where your points get the most value, lowest rate, or are you really looking for something that is driving to net zero and trying to help the environment? I'm curious what everyone's seeing out there. But what do you think, Sarah, when you're traveling?
I think it's a low. I mean, and coming from somebody who has an electric car, who prior to that had a hybrid car for many, many years, who I also vegetarian for a long time, if we want to really get into like just understanding as far as energy use and all of that. But that being said, I'm not necessarily making like if I mean, in all honesty, like if I'm booking a hotel, I'm not like, ooh, which one is net zero or super green. If it is, oh, it happens to be, that's cool. But like booking.com, I mean, they used to have the green leaf feature, but now that's been blocked. So it's interesting because there's like a little bit of a definition problem with it, or there's an inconsistency, I should say, maybe versus problem. And then I think at the end of the day, how much is it necessarily impacting where people are choosing to stay? And I don't think that that's a very high percentage. As I mean,
Yeah, some
again,
companies, like if you have a conference hotel of your drive conferences, a lot of the people booking those meetings, that's part of the RFP, right? So part of that proposal process is what does your hotel do to be more green? And they choose places based off that, which I love. And I was part of those conversations in the past. And so now for me too, I'm looking behind me. I have bags and bags and bags of samples of compostable things, but none of them look good. It's how do you figure out how to make things look nice so you're not lowering the quality of the standard you're giving guests? I think that's the challenge we have too. So if you can do power, sustainability stuff on property, because you just walk through a hotel, you realize how much garbage is made every single day, from the hotel rooms to the kitchens to the public areas. It's amazing as you really start walking through. So anything we can do to help, we do. But when I walk some of these back of houses and I just see water faucets running all day, plastic bottles piling up, it's hard to feel like you're making an impact. But every little thing counts, I think.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I mean, it's crazy when you actually think about how much waste we as individuals produce.
I got 2 compostable cups on my desk right now. Maybe I just used one.
Yeah. No, it's it's definitely interesting times indeed. That whole thing that you were even saying about like Disney. So wait, is that correct? They have the capability.
Yeah, they said this morning, I was reading the headline, right? I didn't read the full article, but they have the capability to go fully solar now. So
And then they haven't, because they've been too busy laying off people, or
I don't know.
I'm kidding. Sorry, I'm just real feisty today.
Fired up today. Sarah for the people. Sarah for mayor. Let's go.
Sarah for the people. Anyway, whatever. Love Disney, but make different choices. So why don't we go on to our next topic here?
Don't blackball me, Disney. Don't blackball me. I still have a couple more years that I let go.
It's okay. So oh my God.
They're knocking on my door.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. We can't live in today's age and not have an opinion. So Best Western Hotels, they jump on the outdoor trend. Oh, this is another topic that is so perfect for you. They are jumping on the outdoor trend with a new brand. And so they're basically betting that it can rebuild a soft brand portfolio, World Hotels, which ended up shrinking during the pandemic, with a new upscale camping brand, and adding a portfolio of European independent hotels. So the new outdoor brand is called Backdrop by World Hotels. And I mean, the brand will debut. I love this. Big fan of Zion. Will debut with a resort near Zion National Park, and then river cabins in Asheville. Everybody loves Asheville, and an eco lodge with fine dining in Honduras. So, okay, talk to us about this, because I know you got a lot more to say with me about the whole like outdoor.
Well, one, I love seeing it. People are like freak out, like, Steve, there's another brand coming out outdoor. It just shows that more and more people want to experience this thing. And for those that don't know, what Sarah's mentioning too is I'm building a landscape resort right now with my partners called Bahia Miami, and you could see it on Instagram. If you're not following us, go take a moment and follow Bahia Miami on Instagram. And we have our second location we're going to be announcing very soon. So we're excited to do this because people want to be outdoors more, and they're willing to pay for a great experience. And you see it in the rates. I was looking, at the article here that Sean O'Neill put together, which is another great article here on Skift, is the Sage Outdoor Advisory, which is, we know a lot of people there. Shout out to them. They're saying that this is going to continue to grow. And, worldwide right now, I think they say there's 740 glamping properties with only 3,400 units. And operators tend to be smaller, typically 5 to 15 units. That's what we're building in the 20 to 40 range. But people are paying up to $250 a night on average at some of these.
Yeah.
There's a big range now of this what's considered glamping and outdoors. But the top ones under campus is getting $600 a night, and that's just straight up a tent. You don't have AC, it's a fan. Those are in beautiful locations, but people want that fun experience. And I find myself tending to lean that way a little bit more, right? When we were going through the cruise ship area, I wanted to go see what National Geographic's cruise expedition was going to be showing. And I started chatting with them. And more people are traveling that way. They want to have real life experiences, reconnect with nature, be outdoors. And you're starting to see it with the developments that continue to grow and bigger brands in it. Because now we have Hilton, Hyatt, we're talking about Best Westerns in there, Marriott's in there. Everyone's in this space because they know this is what people want. So it will continue to grow and expand. I just want to make sure we don't get to the point of it getting to a place where people test something out that's not a top. They just went for a money grab and they go and they didn't like it, and that's what they're going to have in their mind as an outdoor experience, right? Kind of like when you go to one of these terrible Airbnb properties that really make it not a good experience for people in vacation rentals, or a hotel that's terrible and I'm never going to stay in that brand ever again.
So okay. So Paul Manzi actually brought this up. I was about to say this. I was like, where does the market get saturated? I do like that a lot of these properties tend to be a little bit smaller and more intimate. I think that also makes sense for what it is and the nature, no pun intended, of the experience. But there's definitely far more room to grow. Let's be honest. How many people know how to pitch a tent? But they want that experience. Exactly. No. Maybe Will in the background does, but for sure I don't. And I more so, if I think about the average American, they absolutely do not know how to pitch a tent or do many things. But that being said, obviously people want that proximity close to nature. And I think just as people are looking for different ways to have experiences that are meaningful. By the way, I think, and this is part of a bigger trend that we're seeing not only domestically, but globally. Like when it comes to hospitality, the big trend is meaning, and people want meaning. And part of meaning is also being out there and exploring the world in different ways. And so this trend is just going to continue to grow. And I'm here for it.
Like this. I want to be outdoors, but I don't want to be in a tent that has mosquitoes buzzing around. I would like to have the outdoor experience, beautiful, but then get in my cozy bed, with the great linen, some AC, great amenities in the room, maybe a spa just down the little trail.
Yeah.
That's my kind of travel. But I think that's what we're going to see more and more of, is some of these really unique high-end experiences, and people are going to lean into it more.
Yeah, definitely. I'm here for it. So, whew. Oh my gosh, I feel a little heated today. Why don't we get into our, Will is mountaineering, the mountaineering master. That is correct.
That's right. Producer Will. Correct. He's doing big things on the mountains.
Yes. All right. Should we go on to our final little?
Do we have another topic? What do we got today, people?
No. Whose brand is it anyway?
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Hold on. We need our graphic. Dun, 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 dun. Whose brand is it anyway? The game show that I like to get music now. We need to find out what brand is the parent company for Design Hotels. So listeners and viewers, who owns Design Hotels? What big brand has this brand underneath it? And Design Hotels, I have no clue on this one.
You know, I
felt good last week. I got last week's correct.
I got this one.
I'm going with...
Oh, can I say it?
We should write down our guesses.
Oh my gosh. Now that's getting too high tech.
Okay.
But
I got mine.
Are you writing it down?
I'm going to write it down. I don't have a piece of paper.
Fine. Oh my gosh. I do. I got it. I got it. Oh my gosh. Marriott.
I was way off. I said Accor.
Oh, way off. bruh.
Way off. Can I see that one more time? Design hotels.
Yeah, they're
Let me
not technically
see.
fully integrated, but you can use points to stay there. So there's that. If you would like more details, happy to provide them.
Boutique Hotel Luxury Collection. We are Design Hotels, a collection of 300 independent hotels rooted in design, locality, and culture.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Design Hotels. Very cool.
Yeah.
Destinations, a lot of fun spaces, a lot of European areas, Australia, Bolivia.
Samsonite.
All right. All over the
Samsonite.
place.
Manzi. Oh my gosh. He said
Mm.
Samsonite. I was way off. Very.
I was way off.
Oh,
Dumb and
that
Dumber.
was
If you don't know Dumb and
great.
Dumber, the movie. we got it.
Yeah, Kate, you were
Good
right.
job, Kate. Good job.
Oh,
I
man.
do love this game. It just shows you a lot of brands out there, but it looks really nice. I'm on the website. So check out Design
great.
Hotels if you haven't yet. They got some cool places.
They're great. They're definitely fantastic. So, whew, man, I feel like I'm out of breath from today's show. I got all heated.
You're fired up. I love it. I love it. I love seeing you
Oh, man.
passionate about defending the people out there, Sarah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, no, I mean, look, it's interesting times. There are a lot of changes that are happening, continuing to happen. It's so yeah, it just is interesting how we navigate it because obviously businesses still need to run. And you know, the landscape is changing. The cost of living is changing. The oil prices are changing. Also, not all oil is created the same, or is the same and can be used for the same thing. So it's a challenging time out there. Do you guys don't want to come to my TED Talk about oil? Do you?
That's going to be on our next show. You can click on the link below here where Sarah talks all kinds of Sarah and crude prices and which stocks to bet on. We're going to it next.
Oh, we can definitely do that. Anyway, kidding.
We went long today. We love what we were talking about today. Some great things. We talked about AI.
Yeah.
We talked about sustainability. We talked about getting outdoors more. And a big shout out to Verbo again for being the sponsor this month. If you haven't checked it out, make sure to check out verbo.com/good morning to make sure to support. You got a lot of great things going on there. And as always, we shared a lot of great things here. Sarah was fired up with a lot of fired up topics. Make sure to share with your friends how fired up Sarah was today, because I'm sure they're going to be just as passionate as she was about the things that she was talking about. And make sure to subscribe. Why, Sarah? Why should they subscribe? What's the one benefit? There's a lot of benefits.
There's a lot of benefits. Well, subscribe so then you always know when we go live, but also help support us so we can continue keeping the show going.
Yeah. And it's free. There's nothing free. We just talked about how expensive everything is. Go click that button right now, people. That's
right. Go for it. Oh, and then we should end on, as always, stay hospitable.
Hospitable.
Keep it hospitable.
Keep it. I don't know. Sign off.
Hey, he's blurry. Get him out of here.